first thing you see? 32-foot statue of the horse of the apocalypse, whose eyes glow red at night.
It's not 33.
No, it's 32 feet. Okay. Now, the interesting part about this is, believe it or not, this sounds really freaky, but the sculptor who was making this horse, the horse fell on him and killed him. Okay. Before they actually carted it out there, out of the Denver News, DIA sculpture killed by own sculpture. So that thing fell on him just right before they shipped it out and killed the guy. So here you have the weird sculpture with veins coming out of its genitals and
Really?
alright, so you got this giant sculpture. Now you notice the airport in the background here. This roof cost them like $1 billion to make this roof. It's a very highly advanced roof made out of Kevlar. What do they need to make a roof out of Kevlar for? Okay, this was designed by NASA, this roof here. Now we're going to get into the murals. Alright. So you go into the airport. Is this the kind of thing you want to see before you get on an airplane? Okay, you got a Russian soldier with an AK-47 stabbing a double piece. You've got an exodus of people, a lady carrying a dead baby, children sick and dying. And these are, now keep in mind, these aren't small. These murals are bigger than this screen right here. These murals take up a whole giant wall. They're huge. You can't miss them. You have a letter here that was written by somebody who died in Auschwitz. I was once a little child who longed for other worlds, but I am no more a child, for I have no fear. I have learned to hate. How tragic then is youth, which lives with enemies with gallows ropes. Yet I still believe I only sleep today, that I'll wake a child again and start to laugh and play. You have this exodus of people in their little murals there. You also have this scene, which is the other half of this scene. You see how the two rainbows connect right here? You see how this kid is looking back upon this scene. All the other children in this one are looking upon this guy here, but this one kid is looking back upon this. This is actually a scene right out of the Bible. Okay, it says, "Shall beat their swords into plowshares." That's what he's doing right here. The little German boy is beating the sword. All the nations are handing over their swords in flags. You'll notice that Israel and Palestinian flag, they're in peace handing over their swords to this kid who's beating them into plowshares. It's basically a scene right out of the Bible. You also have this, which is another mural there. So in this mural you have a dead black woman, a dead Indian woman, and a dead Christian Jewish woman. Okay? You have
what about Christian Jewish woman?
Well, Judeo-Christian, I should say. You know, she's got the cross, the little Star of David, her locket's broken. You also have the dead Indian and the dead black girl in the casket. You also have this Hispanic girl with the Mayan calendar in her hand. They also change this. For some reason, they come back and they update the city. They've changed it 3 times now. I can't get a picture. Somebody told me about the 3rd change, but they've actually come back and repainted this a couple different times for some reason. All right, this is how big the murals are. See this lady sitting here? They're gigantic things. You also get this, which is very unique.
Wow.
You get this thing in the air, and also this horned creature that's reseeding life. The corn, the dove, and the little baby.
And it's an ark.
Yeah. There's and these are the Colorado mountains in the background.
Wow.
So you've got that going on. Come on. There we go. Alright, you've also got a mural of the Great Deluge. And you've also got this mural, which I haven't exactly determined whether this is water or rock or not, but I do notice that these look like treetops below the water surface as they get smaller and smaller as it goes up. I just included that in there because they're just unique looking. But you've got these 2 gargoyles
Coming out of the suitcase.
sitting in a suitcase. Now, what's interesting about these, I don't have a high enough resolution on this, but right here it says Samsonite. We're all familiar with the name Samsonite, right?
Oh.
Well, Samsonite is also an anagram for Mason's site.
Yeah.
Okay? So, you have that.
What was the guy's image of the man in the mural before this one?
Let's see here.
I'm sorry, this is the Denver airport?
Yeah, the Denver New World Airport.
That's like something out of Ghostbusters or something. It's insane. I'm serious.
This guy here, he's looking down over this promised land.
Is that reflection?
Well, it looks like he's looking down with his arms out, like it's sanctity. You have mines here. I haven't exactly determined what this means yet. Like, I don't want to get into my own
I
conjecture.
think he's been chipped.
like I said, I'm going to try and stick with facts throughout all this. So I'll leave that up to your own determination on what that means. But this is where it gets interesting. If you look through the Denver airport through the air, this is what you see. That's what you don't see. Okay, that it's a swastika from the air.
Yeah.
And also, if you look here, what is this down here? This is the cargo detail, and this is an actual thing from their cargo detail. It's a phallus and testicles. Okay, this is called Pena Boulevard. This is called Union Street, Shady Grove Street. These guys ain't screwing around. This is called Jackson Gap Road. This is called Pena Boneyard. Okay? This is actual stuff that these guys are putting here. It's right here. And it's, this is from Northwest Airlines, their cargo detail.
Wait,
Oh, go ahead.
they drew that, that's a
That's their
photocopy of their,
That's a photocopy.
you
of-
didn't elaborate to show that, wow.
No, that's the actual thing from their deal. I mean, anybody couldn't see that. It's not got two brain cells to rub together.
Pretty good.
It's pretty freaking obvious to me.
Loading dock, yes.
Loading dock or loading?
I mean, you can't be any more. Alright, so you also have all over the floor, you got these weird things written in ancient Navajo. Nanini Nisi means Tallow River. Took me forever to find that. Well, I Googled Earth Tallow River, and I pulled up this spot. This is exactly what brought me to. They have 3 gigantic reservoirs, and all these are crops. All these are just massive crops. Thousands of acres of crops. That grow
Oh,
across here.
God.
Okay? So they're setting up something up there.
Well,
Now, other things that I haven't been able to include in this presentation is the fact that they've been working on this airport for 17 years. Okay, it takes them about 2, 3, 4 years to build an airport. 17 years later, they're still working on this thing 2 miles away. They got land section offices proper at Denver Airport where they're digging tunnels and putting tunnels in the ground.
I heard there's a city under there for all those.
Yeah.
Wait, see if they can read the signs, the Mason signs that they have in the airport.
There's
Because you're invited, but you have to read it and be able to depict exactly what they say before you're allowed.
well, I
to
think
in.
it's an invitation for Freemason. That's why it says Mason's
Exactly.
site. It's a Mason's site.
Exactly.
Where are the
I heard
crops
it's
at?
a city.
Huh?
Where are the crops at?
The crops are about 45 minutes away from the Denver airport, just right up the road. The Denver airport's like right over here, so it's not very far away. So they also have this word beshdik. I don't know if it means anything, but it doesn't. In Navajo, it means white metal. White metal is also known as iridium. Iridium is known as white metal, which is not really found on the planet very much. It's only really found in asteroids. So they spent the initial cost was to be 1.7 billion. They spent 4.8 billion, but it ended up being closer to 6 billion at the end. It's the largest international airport on U.S. soil. It's twice as big as Dallas. It's built in a high wind area. Stapleton Airport hadn't been. Everybody was very happy with Stapleton Airport, and they have to shut down this Denver New World Airport all the time because of high winds. They've also moved around 110 million cubic yards of dirt, which is about a third of the amount it took them to dig the Panama Canal. What do you have to move all that dirt for? To build runways, okay? Fiber optic communication core. They also have a fueling system that can pump 1,000 gallons of fuel per minute. What do you need a fueling system that can pump that much fuel for?
How are you gonna have that much
1,000
fuel
gallons
available
a
anyway?
minute.
Yeah, exactly. So what it looks like to me is that when this event goes down, all the elites are going to go fly into their little fortress here and leave us all behind.
Exactly.
Okay, these are just some facts that I already went over with you, but I kind of highlighted them there. So that was the Denver airport, which is freaky enough in itself. That's pretty much a whole conspiracy all in itself. So Google's launched. I've been very familiar with the internet. I've been on the net since really it first came out. Since Al Gore invented it, I've been on it. Basically, YouTube was a great place to go that you could get your videos out and everybody could see them. Well, Google bought YouTube and that stopped. That they started subversion and keeping people's stuff down. And I pretty much stopped within a couple months of Google buying YouTube.
How long, when that happened? Just a couple?
That happened back, let's see here. It's down here a little further on the exact date, but it's, I think it was 2 years ago. Reverend Sung Young Moon, who's a big neocon friend of the Bushes, him and his Unification Church bought